I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this, but Ubisoft sucks. Ubisoft is terrible. Now, it didn't always used to be this way. When I was a kid, Ubisoft was the game publisher. It was like that was the shit. That was the shit. You know, you had Assassin's Creed, you had Far Cry. I mean, you just had these unbelievable games. I remember when For Honor came out, like the Knights versus Samurais versus Vikings. That shit blew my mind. Literally just blew my mind. I'd never played another game like that. And then Rainbow Six came out. Rainbow Six was like so crazy because I was on console back then, and you don't have Counter Strike on console, but Rainbow Six was on console, and so I played the shit out of that. And Ubisoft saw what was successful, and rather than innovating, they just kept it tied to a life support machine for, I mean, how long has it been? 10 years? How old is Rainbow Six? I think it's 10 years or older. For Honor's probably about the same. Far Cry, I think the last Far Cry I actually played was Primal. I think it was Far Cry Primal. And that was okay, but it was not, you know, groundbreaking. I mean, the exact same thing with Assassin's Creed. I loved Assassin's Creed when I was a kid. Absolutely loved it. That was the shit back in middle school. That was like what all the cool kids played was Assassin's Creed. Like elementary school, middle school, that was the shit. And obviously they had their like differences in quality, I think the one I played the most when I was a kid was 3, but I think the best one is Black Flag, like no one can deny that. But I will never forget the first time I played Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins. That was the Egypt one. I liked it, but not as an Assassin's Creed game. It was still an Assassin's Creed game, though. You still had the hidden blade, you still had the whole like secrecy, but the open world was very, very different, but I liked it. They did a good job. The open world was beautiful. I love like the pyramids and the desert and all this, like the cities and stuff. But then when Odyssey came out, I was like, wait a minute. Is this it? Is this the new formula? Have they just completely abandoned, you know, the concept? And I didn't buy Odyssey when it came out. I think I got it years later. Years later when it was on sale for like $8 on Steam or something. So, and I never finished it either. It just, it's not Assassin's Creed. Odyssey is not Assassin's Creed to me. And that was the last one I played. I haven't played one since. So Ubisoft has completely fallen off. They went from having some of like the biggest bangers to nothing. I haven't played For Honor in years. Years. Probably 5 or 6 years. I haven't played Rainbow Six in about the same time, maybe longer. I mean, my favorite Ubisoft game is Far Cry 3, and I occasionally play that every once in a while, maybe once every 2 years or so. But that's about it. That's about it. Um, they've just fallen off. Like bad. Like really, really bad. And if just a fun fact, go to your stock app on your phone. If you have an iPhone, just use the stock app and look at Ubisoft's stock price over the last 10 years. It is a water slide. It is a death drop. It is insane how bad it went down. It is literally like, oh my God, it must be like fucking 2% what it used to be. It's insane. It's crazy how far they've gone. And like a part of it is sad. The nostalgia makes me sad. But as like someone who purchased their products and sees the kind of games they make now, I'm almost like happy about it because they don't deserve. I don't know how they did it back then. Looking at the state of them now, I don't know how you have that like paradigm shift. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I recently had an excursion. I had a little rumble with the customer support. Basically, I decided to try Rainbow Six Siege again, or Rainbow X, or whatever the hell it's called now. They butchered that as well. But I heard that there's cross progression, and when I was a kid, I have hundreds of hours in Rainbow Six. I probably have about $250 or $300 spent in the game. From years ago, back on Xbox, and I hadn't played the game in probably 5 or 6 years. And so I downloaded it on Steam, linked my Xbox account, and this is around Christmas time. So I'm sure you know what happens. They have this huge hack and all the servers are shut down and they can't link my progress. They can't do anything. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not playing. And I waited a day, I waited 2 days, I waited a week. And it was like a couple days into January when I finally opened a ticket. And I'm not going to go into it. This video would be too long, way too long. But I spent 2 days on this support ticket, and I didn't get anything. I got nowhere. I didn't get any of my stuff. I didn't get any of my cosmetics, none of my game progression levels, skins, nothing. And so basically, I downloaded R6 on Steam. I have about 8 hours in it on Steam. I did not play a single match. I spent 8 hours in the main menu, like linking stuff, signing in and out of accounts, all that. 8 hours. I downloaded a game and did not play it. And as soon as I finally got like the final email where they're like, there's nothing we can do, we're closing your ticket, I just gave up. Only Ubisoft can mess up your account. You have an issue with Steam, as long as you can prove it's your account, they will help you. Steam will help you. Yeah, you might get like trade banned for 30 days or whatever, but you're not going to lose everything. And that's the problem I have with Ubisoft, is what they think that because I spent all that money years and years ago and I can't get back into my account, I'm just going to hop back on R6 and rebuy everything. Drop another $200 or $300. Are they insane? Are they smoking crack over there? It just doesn't make any sense. Not at all. So that's what I'm talking about. Ubisoft, their games suck. Their pricing model sucks. Their customer service is dog shit. No, there's no positive traits to Ubisoft besides just how much of a meme they are. Just how shit they are is so funny to talk about. So funny to just make fun of. But it's also incredibly sad because Ubisoft is not the only one. Microsoft, EA, like, I guess EA was always kind of like, EA is probably not the best example, but all of these big AAA studios have just gone down the hill so much. And it's sad. It's sad and good. It's sad because that was my childhood. All of those games, all the Ubisoft games, Halo, all of the Microsoft games, even some of the EA games, just huge parts of my childhood. But it's also exciting because these big, giant, bloated companies that haven't produced anything of quality in the last 10 or 15 years have perfectly aligned the market to allow for smaller creators. And these indie games, I don't buy a lot of games. I do not buy a lot of games. I have a ton of games. I do not purchase games anymore. The last game that I bought at full price was Elden Ring. Because, come on, it's fucking Elden Ring. Come on. But before that, I couldn't even tell you the last game I bought at full price. but occasionally I will buy an indie game. Indie games are so much better than anything AAA has produced in the last 15 years. I feel like we're getting to the point where indie games can charge more than AAA and people will gladly pay for it just to piss off these AAA studios, which I'm totally on board for. But that's a whole nother can of worms. This video was about Ubisoft. Ubisoft has fallen. It will be studied. It's just like me talking about Xbox. All of these like coveted items, these coveted things from my childhood have just all gone to shit. All of them. So terrible. But that's where I'm going to leave this off. Leave down in the comments if you fucking hate Ubisoft. Let's get some comments. If you love Ubisoft, I guess let me know why. Tell me how. I appreciate you listening to this, and I'll see you tomorrow.